Hi, everyone. Hi, little one. Are you coming here? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. I hope everyone's having a good day. You have your, come here. Come say hi. Your coffee, or your tea, or your hot chocolate. I know it's May, but it's been a little chilly here lately. My girl here says hi. Sandy, get it, Sandy? She's the littlest of the house. We need to get her a playmate. She wants to play a lot. Her sister doesn't want to play a lot, and the old man doesn't want to play at all. So she needs a sibling. She needs a housemate to play with. But anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina, and this is where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music. And it's nice to meet you. I hope you're having a good day. And like my video, please. Like, please. 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 And subscribe, maybe, and stay subscribed. I had a whole bunch of subscribers this week, and now they're slowly unsubbing. I don't know why that happens to me, but that's what happens. I get like 10 and then 20 unsub. But anyways, welcome to Flashback Monday, where we talk about my favorite magazine in the whole wide world, Romantic Times Book Review. And we talk about mystery, historical, contemporary romance, inspirational, paranormal, urban, which later on they combine them. But we also go through in a little while steampunk, which is paranormal, urban, same thing. I don't know why they came out with this steampunk thing, but they did. And don't forget Star Trek Fridays, where we recap Star Trek Next Generation. And If Then Friday afternoons, I dig around and find authors that are similar. And if you like this author, then maybe you like that author. We started off with the Bridgertons. If you like the Bridgertons, maybe you like Joanna Lindsay and the Mallorys and Mary Baylow and Catherine Coulter and her Sherbrooks. So please check out those videos. And I did a couple of trying advertisement type situation, and it didn't work out because I did it with my laptop, and YouTube didn't recognize it as a short, even though it was a few seconds. So they're out there too. They'll be showing up every once in a while. And I hope you enjoyed I didn't know that. Those are pretty much over with too now. But anyways, let's get to our magazine here. Lovely magazine. And I was kind of disappointed to discover that this is probably the smallest haul that I've had, the smallest amount of books that I've had in a while. And it's probably going to get that way because I started compiling and transcribing genealogical books at this point in 2010. So I kind of curbed off the reading for a while, so I don't have as many after this point, so the piles are going to get smaller. But if you want to check out Heritage Books, I did 34 books in 10 years. Want to see somebody else? Well, Patterson, but these were nonfiction, and I wasn't actually writing them. I was just compiling, transcribing, typing them all up, printing them all out, hole punching all the papers, putting them in a spiral thing. And I had a genealogy lady selling them all for a few years. If I had started 10 years earlier, they would have been great, but I started it way too late. And by that point, Ancestry and Family Search had come in. So the need for the books went from like here to sub-basement level. But anyways, and I just had a publisher pick them up last year. And I don't see that they're going to sell. I have no faith they're going to. They're too old. And besides the fact that the stuff is on Ancestry and Family Search. Well, some of it. Some of it isn't. I've got a couple of books that I transcribed that no one has ever seen before because the books are still sitting in the vaults. And I photographed the books and then transcribed them. But I still have another one I haven't transcribed yet. But let's get to it, shall we? My favorite magazine, I have no idea. Annie Steelyard, The Garden of Emptiness. What do you think? Some loves are meant to be cursed. Some loves are meant to be, others are cursed. Perseverance triumph. Novelist Valerie Hoffman is redefining the modern-day vampire in her Vampire Royalty series. She tackles multiple plotlines, a revolving cast of characters, and her own breed of vamps called Porphians. Her latest book, Blood Heiress, is available this month through VG Press. I have taken the concept and created an offshoot of humans who have evolved differently, the author explains of the Porphians. They look and act like humans but are a separate branch of the evolutionary tree. Even though the Porphians look like us and act human, they have many of the traditional abilities we have all come to love and know in vampires. I don't know. We shall see. Your cheating heart. This was cute. We will talk about this book in our reviews. Oh, I should have brought it up, but I didn't. But you know, Miss Charlene Harris is over there on those shows, and I've got Suka Stackhouse in video also, but the books are better. Read the books. But they also had True Blood. Do you remember the True Blood phenomenon? You could buy True Blood. Here, let me just do it so you can look. True Blood. Holiday greetings from Angela Knight, Michelle Monque, Galen Foley, and Val Parv. Oh, I guess I should mention this is the December 2009 issue. I guess I'm a little late on this. Spice up your coffee break and read a little. 19. Curious about teen life? Legends of Historicals. I was looking at this. Joe Beverly. I have. And if you've been watching my Beatrice Small videos, I have those. Virginia Henley, I have those. Joanna Lindsay, if you watched my Bridgertons, you saw me in the Mallorys. Hello, Casanova. How's it going? And the only one of these I don't have is Loretta Chase and Patricia Rice. So we have Joe Beverly and Beatrice Small, Virginia Henley, Joanna Lindsay, and Patricia Rice, Gillian Hunter. We have some of her books. Jane Feather. She had the Bride series. I'm sorry I gave those up. I'd like those back. If anybody has, there were 7 or 8 brides. So let's get to our Oh, historical romances. Remember when Fabio was all the craze? Speed bumps in the road of writing, or how to keep moving forward. Stand up on writing techniques. Fire in fiction, constant art of being a writer, break into fiction, the call of writer's craft, formatting and submitting your manuscript, and here's the kicker, conversations with 21 top humor writers. Missed those book conventions. You go to sci-fi conventions. We used to go to book conventions. Okay, so let's get to it. Karen Rainey. I used to have a lot of her books, and we're doing the Oh, there it is. She did a lot of Scotland. Right there. Karen Rainey. Sold to a Laird. 4.5 stars. Once again, Rainey demonstrates her incredible ability to create a powerful story brimming with passion and flair. Her characters' intelligent and extreme emotional depth immediately grab the reader. This highly emotional story is one to be treasured and long remembered. Lady Sarah enters her despised father's home in London to discover that he's ordering her marriage to Douglas Easton as a way to get financial backing for his invention. His agreement to not send her mother to Scotland is his leverage against Sarah. Douglas, who grew up an orphan on the streets of Perth, is not titled. Although his hard work and many inventions have made him extremely wealthy, he is immediately taken by Sarah's intelligence, selflessness, and emotional strength. What Sarah views as a marriage of convenience gradually changes. Douglas' caring, protective nature rapidly changes. Her opinion of him and their marriage. As emotional feelings toward him increase dramatically, so does her love and their now passionate relationship. Okay. Michele Sinclair. Desiring the Highlander. We went through this phase where everything was Highlander. Everything. There you go. I can't tell you how many books. Even Lindsay Sands did them. Yeah, Lindsay Sands did them. A lot of authors did them. I've got tons. Desiring the Highlander, 4.5 stars. Once again, Sinclair demonstrates her ability to touch readers' minds and hearts, keeping them enthralled. Her deft handling of her characters' emotional evolution, backed by her talent for presenting them in a plot that's both witty and sensual, is captivating. As a boy, Cole McTurney witnessed the killing of his best friend by an Englishman. Consequently, he's emotionally cold and hates anything British. Death and starvation have left the wild northern Highlands without leadership, and Cole is asked to become the Laird and lead them to peace in an attempt to get Cole to drop his tight hold on his feelings. His brother sends him to retrieve an undisclosed parcel from an English baron. Eleanor Howell's ruthless brother-in-law assumed her guardianship in order to marry her off for his personal gain. Now Cole's arrival presents her with the opportunity for escape. Cole is far from amused to learn the parcel is Eleanor. The return trip is long and arduous, but does have the desired effect on Cole, who frees himself from his walled emotions as he and Eleanor become more tolerant of each other. Their relationship undergoes several dramatic changes. Olivia Drake, Seducing the Heiress. Seducing the Heiress, right there. 4 stars. Debuting with this first in a series, Drake entices readers with the intriguing concept of sisters who move among the ton without anyone knowing their secret. She's always going off. If you watch my videos, she's always going off. Ooh, no chiming today. Okay. Utilizing a tried and true plot, wealthy nobleman needs to wed for money. Drake twists the conventional with an unconventional heroine and a bad boy hero that readers will adore. Portia Crompton has wealth, beauty, and secret. Her heart belongs to the prince she left behind in India. Portia evades suitors, but not the determined Colin Bird Viscount Radcliffe, a reputed rogue of the worst sort, accused of killing his father. Desperate for funds, Colin pursues Portia, going so far as to sneak into her bedroom and steal the miniature portrait of her prince. That's a challenge to Portia, who then steals into his townhouse to retrieve her priceless painting. Their cat and mouse game leads to a heated kiss that ignites Portia's passion. The more she says no, the more Colin desires her. Portia begins to long for stolen moments with Colin and the opportunity to understand the man behind the rake's facade. Diane Gaston, let's see. Gallant Officer, Forbidden Lady. Right there. 4 stars. Gaston displays an innate sense of time and place as she brings her characters from the battlefields of Spain to London's world of theater and the arts. By placing her story in a different venue, she gives readers a glimpse of other Regency, where commoners live and aristocrats visit. After the horrors of battle, Jack Vernon returns home, taking solace in his art. His work earns him a place in the prestigious exhibit and the admiration of the beautiful actress Ariana Blaine. But it isn't until Lord Transvaal, Jack's mother's protector, takes an interest in Ariana, requesting Jack paint her portrait, that they become involved. Ooh. Hannah Howell, and I used to have all of her books, and I used to have quite a few of them. If he's sinful, they were always purple. 4 stars. The second title, focusing on the Warlocks, a family gifted with many unusual talents, is a well-written, fast-paced Cinderella plotline enhanced by an unforgettable large cast of characters, children and dogs especially, who come to life through Howell's creative handling of several intertwined subplots. Someone wants Lady Penelope Warlock out of the way and has her kidnapped and sold to a brothel. Lord Ashton Radmore's friends have arranged a last fling for him before he is wed. When he's brought into a darkened room, Penelope recognizes Ashton as her stepsister's suitor. Suddenly, her brothers, along with his friends, rush in to rescue her, and Ashton meets her large family. Intrigued by Penelope, the poor relation who sees ghosts, Ashton decides to uncover who wants to harm her and why anyone would hurt a woman who cares for dogs and boys. Interesting. I didn't write down. Let's see. Oh, I didn't write it down. All right, let's just. Nope. Don't see it. I'll probably see it later. It always happens when you're not looking for something, right? Margaret Mallory. Night of Pleasure. Sounds interesting. Did you know? Here we go. Night of Pleasure. I read this article, and it was in one of our Romantic Time magazines, that a publisher has decided they have 3 seconds to catch your eye as you walk down a book aisle for you to see their cover to catch your attention. That's what they estimated. They give themselves 3 seconds that their cover has to be enough to grab your attention. So I thought that was interesting. And just so you know, all of my videos, have spoilers. I got yelled at a little while ago about spoilers. I like spoilers. I like reading what has happened, and then like a television show. Like my big brother, expect the unexpected. My husband made me a little video. He found some scrap metal, and it had a circle in it. He took another piece of scrap metal and cut a little bar and put a bar across it. I'll have to show it one day. And then he's got a chandelier chain. I would never wear it. It's just hanging. But he made it out of scrap metal. It's my power veto. But I like watching the feeds and getting the results of all the contests before it airs on TV. So I know who won, and I watch the episode to see how it played out, how they won, how they got to that point. I like spoilers. I like knowing what happens, and if there's, I like knowing in advance. I do. I like knowing in advance. I like spoilers. And, while there are websites out there that have a 30 to 60 day thing where you can't talk about a new book, but for that time period, I talked about a book that was over 40 years old, and I did a video, and it's on here this week. You'll see it. And the book is over 40 years old, and I went ballistic because the hero committed premeditated murder and got away with it, and was using squirrels as target practice, and the villain was using squirrels as target practice, and you'll have to watch my Prey video, so we'll see what happens there. Margaret Mallory, Night of Pleasure. Mallory, it got 4 stars. Mallory has an amazing ability for creating a riveting story, entwining adventure and history, overlaid with great depth of emotion and laced with a constantly increasing level of sensuality. Lady Isabel Hume's husband's death freed her from an unwanted marriage, but she's shocked to learn that her husband's lands were deeded to a man she despises. Rather than wed him, she agrees to marry a French aristocrat chosen by King Henry. Such a marriage would build Henry's relationship with his allies. Sir Stephen Carleton is assigned to a post in France to defuse disputes while acting as a spy. In addition, he becomes Isabel's guardian until her marriage. Isabel remembers Stephen from years ago, and although she's determined to support king and country, sparks fly between them. And Pat Kit Fay, the concubine's daughter. I thought that was interesting. 4 stars. In a sweeping multi-generational saga that may remind readers of Amy Tame's novels, Fay captures the culture and atmosphere of the East and readers' interest and compassion. Fay develops complex characters, blending them into a heartbreaking generational story that displays the determined of a woman to survive in a society that brutalizes and disrespects them. When an elderly former young concubine, Pei Ling, gives birth to a daughter, He plans to kill the worthless child. Pei, the daughter of a prosperous family, was sold to the farmer when her family fell in hard times. She dies trying to save her daughter, who rescued when the glowing eyes of a fox frightened the farmer. Okay. ELAINE BARBIERI. Getting lucky. The one with no clothes on. Western readers know how Barbary always delivers a realistic story whose background is as much an integral part of the plot as the characters. Though the storyline is tried and true with few surprises, readers will enjoy this comfort read. 3 stars. After losing everything including her parents on the trail, Tessa White walks into San Francisco and collapses in front of Lucy Moreau's gambling tent. Lucy reluctantly gives her a helping hand and Tess vows to pay him back. A loner bad boy Lucky wants the innocent Tess out of his life, so he volunteers to pay her passage out of the wild mining tent city. But she refuses, insisting that selling home-cooked meals will increase his business. It does, but she's too much of a temptation, and he knows the longer she stays, the more he will want to be her protector. Okay, so let's move on to mainstream fiction. Wishin' and Hoppin', Wally Lamb. 4 stars. This is a heartwarming slice of life in 1964 as seen through the eyes of 10-year-old Felix Funicelli, a distant cousin of reigning teen queen Annette. Having the narrative filter through the pop culture of the day gives the story an authentic feel. In the fall of 1964 in Three Rivers, Connecticut, and Felix is trying to navigate the 5th grade at the parochial school where Mother Philomena's word is law. Felix is the shortest, scrawniest kid in the class and bears a striking resemblance to Dondi, an adorable comic strip war orphan. It's hard for Felix to keep his attention on his schoolwork with the magic of television waiting at home. And Searching for Pemberley, Mary Lyndon Simonson. Right there. 3 stars. In this sweet and nostalgic novel, Simonson borrows from Pride and Prejudice to create her own World War II love story. Simon's attention to Maggie's complex character shows. Readers should revisit Austen's novel before tackling this tale. Working in London after World War II, American Maggie Joyce's interest peaked when she hears rumors that Pride and Prejudice was based on 2 real families. And Pemberley was modeled after a home in Derbyshire. Maggie is referred to a couple, Jack and Beth Crowell. Jack's father was the butler at Montclair, and the Crowells not only welcome her, they believe the rumor true and own a trunk full of letters from the woman said to be the real-life Elizabeth Bennet and her Mr. Darcy. Interesting. You want some red hot romance? Don't forget Sondheim. Let's go into sci-fi. Jim Butcher. We'll have to do the what's the series? Oh, I can't think of it now. Oh shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. I have the books too. The guy from Buffy, Jim Marston, does the Butcher books. He's the Warlock. But the audiobooks, the books themselves are really, really, really good. But because Jim Marston talks in one single tone, and even when there's a really bad gunfight, he talks in one tone. you're like, oh my God, read the book. Then you can do it in your head. But the he reads in one tone. Even when there's a fight or something, he's like, and John picked up the gun and blah blah. One tone, no inflection at all. It's just up there she goes again. Ah, so bing, 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 bing. All 12. So Jim Butcher, First Lord's Fury. Somebody remind me what those Warlock books were. It's gonna drive me crazy all day. 4.5 stars. The wait is finally over as Incredible Butcher gives salivating fans the piece de resistance of his Kodak Elara series. The incredible journey of clever Tavi from shepherd's apprentice to the last hope of the realm has been both thrilling and harrowing, not to mention completely engrossing. In this finale, the blistering pace of warfare never falters and is split between character viewpoints. With the world as they know it hanging in the balance, Tavi, rightful heir to the title of First Lord, must first find a way to bring old foes together to battle the unrelenting march of Vard. After discovering the Canaan bloodlands have fallen to Vard, resourceful Tavi has found a way to bring the survivors back to Elara to make a final stand. Oh look, an actual book. Where'd it go? Let's see. Shadowland. A teen book. I have quite a few of her books. 4.5 stars. Noel's novel is absolutely amazing. Fans of her Immortal series will not be disappointed. Ever and Damien's love is challenging like never before, and the story ends with a big, satisfying twist that will have readers begging for more. Ever and Damon are meant to be together, but now every time they touch, Damon falls into Shadowland, a never-ending darkness for lost souls. As they try to find a cure for his terrible fate, Damon begins to pull away from Ever, and Jude Knight comes along. Ever is drawn to Jude, unaware of his dark secrets, and even though she knows she and Damon are meant to be together, she questions if their love will ever be the same again. Interesting. And I had this book. I do not know where it is. Witch and Wizard, my Mr. Patterson himself. 4 stars. Patterson delivers everything his teen fans have become to expect from his Maxim series. He exchanges martial arts for magic in this inspiration action novel. Welcome to New Orleans, or N.O., here as our criminals and books, art, music, and especially magic are banned. Wisty and Wit, all good, are awoken in the dead of night by armed guards as this new world takes shape around them. Interesting. Inspirational. The Sheriff's Surrender. Susan Page Davis. 4.5 stars. Davis kicks off the Lady Shooting Club series with a romantic filled with non-stop adventure, mystery, and murder. The characters are charming, down to earth, and trying to live their lives. Davis makes her characters leap off the pages without overdoing the emotion. In Fergus Falls, Idaho in 1885, Gertie Dooley can run circles around the men when it comes to handling a gun. When the sheriff is murdered, the women decide to get shooting lessons from her. The men aren't happy about it, but there's not much they can do. When more murders occur and the killer leaves an 1866 penny at each death, interim sheriff Ethan Chapman enlists the help of Gert and the other woman to uncover the identity of the killer before more people die. Romantic suspense. Dying Scream. Dying Scream, Mary Burton. I just had it 4.5 stars. Burton's tout, fast-paced thriller will have you guessing until the last blood-soaked page. This tale comes complete with an old southern plantation, a graveyard that's just a little too well populated, and people with lots of history. Adriana Barrington may be old money, Virginia, but that hasn't shielded her from blows of the last few years. She and her husband were hit by a drunk driver only 3 months after their wedding. She miscarried and he ended up in an irreversible coma. She sold nearly everything to pay the medical bills. Now widowed, she has to sell the family plantation to clear the last of the debts. When the buyer insists that the family graveyard be moved from the property, the discovery of extra bodies in the graveyard brings Detective Gage Hudson back into her life. It also spurs a killer into action. Soon more women, each with a connection to Adriana's husband, start dying. Interesting. Laura Griffin, Untraceable. Right there. What's better? Oh, 4.5 stars. What's better than a strong heroine who follows her gut, fights for the rights and freedom of others, and knows when to ask for help to get what she wants, when she's matched with an equally strong and compelling hero? The characters are top-notch, and their gradual romance, entrenched in a mystery and suspense, leaves readers sighing contentedly as the last page folds. Private investigator Alexander Lovell fears that a client that she helped escape from an abusive husband has been murdered. The kicker, the abusive husband is a police officer. Alex turns to homicide cop Nathan Devereaux for help. When he's not convinced Alex is right, he is too attracted to her and worried about her safety to walk away. Will Alex's instincts and penchant for trouble get her killed, or will Nathan be able to save her? Gina Robinson. Let's read it. Spy Games. Spy Games. Looks like there's a little romance in that. Spy Games. 4 stars. Robinson delivers an entertaining story of stalking, spying, secret identities, and hidden agendas. The heroine is fun to know and smart in her plans to take care of herself. Determined to protect herself from psycho ex-boyfriend, Kat Riley Peterson attends a 3-day fantasy spy camp. There she meets Van Keller, a professor of mathematics, or so he says. After one of her fellow campmates asks her to do him a favor, Riley finds herself drawn into a situation she never imagined. When a body is found on the first day of camp, Riley feels Kat might be involved, and things become complicated. Van is determined to protect Riley, but what can a math professor do against gun-toting villains? Don't know. Linda Howard, Ice, 4 stars. Howard fans get a second dose of her patented kind of romantic suspense this year. While the book's short length places the story closer to a novella than a novel, it has all the classic elements of a Howard romantic adventure. Jesus. This is like a short story to you. 4 stars. As teenagers, Mayor daughters Lal Hilton and Sheriff sons Gabriel McQueen lock horns constantly. Now a widower with a young son, Gabriel arrives for family visit with nasty ice storm at his heels. His father asks him to check on Lolly, who is at her family's cabin and out of phone contact. Taking up a local offer to stay with them during the storm, Lolly heads to her cabin to pick up some clothes, never realizing that 2 dangerous meth addicts are following her. Ooh, uh-oh. Danger zone. Stephanie Tyler. Hard to hold. Hard to hold. The book's pictured a few times. Get ready for 2 complicated characters in a dangerous and complex situation. 4 stars. Tyler's hero and heroine have some serious emotional baggage, which makes it all the more engaging to watch them learn to trust one another. While this has a military plot which is quite dark at times, it is better than other military romances because the focus is on the romance and the mystery surrounding the characters, not the operations. Deep in the jungle of Africa, Lieutenant Jake Hansen finds Isabella Markham naked and barely breathing. Their bond is instantly forged, and 2 months later he's asked by his bosses to protect Isabel from the man who beat and raped her in Africa. Isabel believes she's safe and her attacker has been captured, but he's on the loose and hunting Isabel. Uh-oh. CARLA NEGGERS. 4 stars. Cold River. The latest in Black Fall series is atmospheric and intense, and the characterizations are top-notch. 8 months ago, firefighter Sean Cameron's father Drew died of exposure on Cameron Mountain. Drew wasn't at fault. He was murdered by hired killers, who later perished too. Sean and his brothers want to find out who ordered their father's death, and cafe owner Shay may be the key to the mystery. Hannah refuses to cooperate in part because she fears her old friend Bowie O'Rourke may have been involved. Her resistance places her in grave danger because the person responsible is close by and watching. Ooh. STARR Ambrose, Our Little Secret. 3 stars. This is a funny story with a twisty plot if you're looking for lighthearted romantic suspense to perk up your spirits or pass the time. Ambrose's story will do the trick. Lauren Sutherland is the exact opposite of her twin sister Meg. Lauren is dependable, organized, and practical to a fault. Meg is passionate, often reckless, who seems to have disappeared with a new husband, a U.S. Senator who's old enough to be her father. When Lauren learns Meg's missing, teams up with the senator's son Drew to find them. Interesting. All right, let's move on to mystery, suspense, and thriller. The Scarpetta Factor. 4.5 stars. It's good to sit down with old friends around the holidays, even if one is a troubled magnet. In fact, there's a lot of allure of Cornwell's best-known character, Dr. Kay Scarpetta, has evolved again, as has her entire family, friends, and co-workers, and the week before Christmas brings enough drama to tie a pretzel in knots. Married, perhaps not always comfortable, to former FBI profile Benton Wesley, Kay has been working pro bono for New York's chief medical examiner. The season of Goodwill has Kay investigating the disappearance of a high-profile financial advisor, Hannah Starr, and the murder of a witness and dedicated runner, Tony Darren. That doesn't even count her stint as senior forensic analysis for CNN. Wow, she's a busy woman. Busy, 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 busy. Oh, I forgot this one. Let me go. I went and got it for a reason. You know, I love Kinsey, but she drives me crazy. And I was so waiting and waiting and waiting. And we'll do this series one day when I get the patience to do it. I was so waiting for Kinsey to get to the 90s for pagers and cell phones and computers, and because there were so many times that Kinsey got in so much trouble because she had to run to a payphone for help, or she had to run to a neighbor's help for help when the killer was at her. So, but then of course Sue Grafton passed. But you need a gumshoe detective. These are the books. A is for alibi, and so on. They're easy to follow because it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, etc. Well, up to you. U is for Undertow. 4.5 stars. It's hard to believe that this is the 21st book featuring private detective Kinsey Millum. Grafton's gift is that she keeps readers wanting more. In this outing, she's set up an intricate plot that moves seamlessly back and forth between the 1960s and the 80s. The pieces of a giant puzzle are parceled out a little bit at a time, which keeps readers guessing how it will all come together. The overriding theme here is family and how time and circumstances change the dynamics of the unit. As Kinsey brings this case together, she makes some discoveries about her mother's family that have her looking at her childhood in a new way. A recent article about the unsolved kidnapping of a young girl that took place more than 20 years ago has unleashed a flood of memories for 27-year-old Michael Sutton. He believes he ran across 2 men burying the victim when he was 6 and wants Kinsey to look into the case. It's a long shot, but Kinsey is soon fascinated. As she investigates, it becomes clear that her client's memory isn't entirely reliable. Don't know. I've done a couple of these. Please check out my videos for these. What was that one with the Masons? Oh, I loved that one. I really enjoyed that book. I am enjoying the heck out of this author, so you'll have to check it out. I don't know how good that'll be. Steve Berry, The Paris Vendetta. 4.5 stars. Berry writes thrillers that are impossible to put down, but since they move faster than light, you won't notice the time flying by. He expertly combines exotic locations, historical information, and secret evil, interesting characters, non-stop action. In Copenhagen, Cotton Malone bookstore, which he lives above, is broken into. A friend has sent a young man in need of help to Colton, but before he can explain, the building is attacked by men who want to kill him and will certainly kill Colton too. They've been sent by Paris Club, a group targeting the world economy that holds a secret that dates back to Napoleon. He is a good author. Hollywood Moon, 4 stars. Joseph Wambaugh. Wambaugh's latest has all his trademark strength. The former detective sergeant calls on his inside knowledge of the LAPD, combining silly humor and social commentary for a very modern and somewhat rough look at life on the street. He knows the often in trouble LAPD well, and at work times use crude humor to highlight important issues. One theme is the treatment of female officers. Another is the barely concealed racial prejudice of some on the force. Although this is more like a stroll down the mean streets of LA, there's fast walks. The sadness of these lives is overpowering. A young man is attacking women, 2 strange and ill-matched characters, one a very smooth, well-spoken player with dreads, and the other a rough, tattooed biker, are working for Jacob Kessler, a heavy-set man with a thick German accent. But Kessler isn't what he seems. He's working with stolen credit cards, and the real brains behind the scam is his wife. Aspiring actor Hollywood Nate Weiss and his veteran partner Dana Vaughn, along with surfer cops Flotsam and Jetsam, are on the scene as Hollywood moon rises over the city. See about that. That one. Christopher Fowler. Bryant and May on the Loose. 4 stars. You know, when you pick up a Fowler book, there's a good read ahead. His Peculiar Crimes Unit series is an original in its odd assortment of fascinating characters and strange cases. Peculiar Crimes Unit, headed by London's longest-serving detectives, Arthur Bryant and John May, has been dismantled. They have, in fact, been kicked out of their offices. Bryant, May, and their team were responsible for solving all the weird and confusing murders that caused public chaos, but they had the nerve to challenge their bosses at home office. Lucky for the team, peculiar events are occurring in London. A man dressed as a giant stag is scaring the community, and a headless body is found stuffed in a freezer. They come together to investigate, but will these odd occurrences prove too much for Peculiar Crimes Unit? Interesting. That one. That one. Contemporary romance. Did I forget any? Oh, yes, I forgot one. Wait, let me go back here. And we will do these. This is Brady, right? Yeah. Okay. Trial by Fire, J. Agents, and please check out all my J.P. Beaumont. I like J.P. Beaumont. He's a detective with the Seattle Police Department for the first few books, and then he starts Private Eye. But check out my J.P. Beaumont videos from last year. Until Proven Guilty is the first one. Allie Reynolds is a feisty and formidable with a canny eye for detail and a gut instinct for trouble. Yet she has an underlying vulnerability that makes her appealing. Janice's intricately laid plot, one overlapping the other, peppered with red herrings, and her character's repertoire demands attentions readers won't regret giving. A former TV news journalist, Allie reluctantly takes a media relations job for the Yakov County Police Department and finds her talent for solving crimes put to the test after a suspicious fire leaves behind an amnesic and badly burned victim. When the woman's advocate, the mysterious Sister Anslem, asks for help, Allie is drawn into a family drama of jealousy, pettiness, and greed. We're going to do the Joanna Brady, the desert. That starts with the desert. All right. I think contemporary romance, Saved and Single. Where is it? Oh, I forgot one. I know I forgot. Oh, it's in Paranormal. 3 stars. The Tiffany is planning the wedding for the man she loves, though she's not the bride. But just before the wedding begins, his fiancée leaves him at the altar, and it's left to Tiffany to break the news. Maybe they'll get together. Lori Wild, Knitting Club. There are so many books out there now. Solving murders by knitting, solving murders by cooking cupcakes, solving mysteries by riding bikes, solving mysteries as a book club, solving mysteries in a library. There's so many of those cozy mysteries. You got to check them all out. Sweethearts Knitting Club, Lori Wild. Right there. And we'll do this a little bit too. This book is a sweet small town romance with nary a demented killer, secret government agent, or paranormal element in sight. It's also not overloaded with sex scenes, which adds to the realism. Little Twilight, Texas has a reputation as a place where high school sweethearts are united. It's also the home of the Sweethearts Knitting Club, whose members, except for Flynn McQuarrie, are all married to their high school sweethearts. Aw, cute. Let's do a few paranormals. Here we go. Bound by Sky. What does it say? Bound by Dreams. And yeah, Bound by Dreams. Christina Sky, that's what I was thinking of. Let's check it out. 4.5 stars. Readers always know they're in for a treat when perennial favorite Sky returns to the world of Draycott Abbey. This newest book is no exception, as the Abbey plays backdrop to a hero and heroine tormented by their bloodlines. The genetic curse that haunts Caleb McKay has kept him traveling the world and risking his life to help others. Kira Morrissey is honoring her mother's dying wish by sneaking onto the grounds of Draycott Abbey. As Kira pursues her quest, she is attacked by several Slavic-speaking men. Though her own efforts and help from a strange wolf-like creature, she escapes. Colin has come back to Draycott to help his own friend Nicholas Draycott protect his family and the Abbey as it hosts delicate political negotiations. My Eve Dallas. I reviewed this book for the J.D. Robb series, so please check it out. It's one of the half books. Lost. This outstanding quartet of authors can be depended on to deliver high-quality stories with plenty of romance and suspense. They don't disappoint. This was the back in the day when we got 3 Nora Roberts and 4 J.D. Robbs. We'd get 2 novels and 2 short stories a year. We don't get those short stories anymore. I miss them. First up, Robb's Missing in Death, which has a puzzled Lieutenant Eve Dallas hunting for a female tourist, a murder victim, and a murderer, all of whom have somehow disappeared off a crowded New York ferry in broad daylight. Gaffney follows the dog days of Laurie Sumner, where a workaholic mother, accident, and coma have her gaining a new perspective on life by waking up in a dog's body. Blaney gives readers Lost in Paradise, where a young woman's arrival on an island fortress may be the key to breaking up an ancient curse. Finally, Langdon serves up Legacy, which takes a grieving young woman to Ireland as she learns the truth about a long-buried family secret. Veil of Shadows. 4 stars. As soundly plotted as the first 2 books in Armtrak's Lightworld Dark trilogy, this story focuses more closely on characterization and motivation than action. After her parents Ella and Malachi are killed during a fierce battle with the elves and water horses, fairy queen Cerridon is forced to flee her underworld home and take refuge in the realm of humans. Accompanied by her betrothed Cedric, she makes her way to Erie and the court of the pretender of Queen Dane. And we will do the Dark Hunters soon. Let me get to this first. Dream Fever, Karen Marie Moaning. 4.5 stars. Moaning's penchant for cliffhanger endings is full display yet again in this penultimate chapter of her amazing Favor series. Captured by the Lord Master and sexually enslaved unseelie princess, Mac has been turned into a pariah and is dying. Rescued by Danny and taken by Jericho Barons, Mac's only hope is that the Barons can restore her will and mind. Within the walls between the Fae and the human world crumbling, millions have died and Dublin is in ruins. Mac and Danny hope to waylay the remaining Sidseers, but they don't trust Mac. Both Barons and the Fae vainly want to use Mac's unique and growing towns, but each has his own agenda. So where was they? The Dark Hunters. We will do the Dark Hunters, and this is the League series. This is her other series. Born of Fire, 4 stars. The second book in Kenyon's revived and expanded League trilogy follows the exploits of a hero whose childhood and adult torments have made him ultimate emotional loner. Have you read Asheron yet? We'll have to do that. The dark dynamics in Kenyon conflicts on her dynamic characters make this chase drama both gritty and poignant. It can be difficult to imagine a more horrifying childhood than that suffered by thief and businessman C.I. Sim. Add to that the devastating betrayal by his wife and son, and the bitterness grows deep. Only his friendships with Nakirian Quirides and Kaylin Dagan keep him connected. It's Dagan's oldest sister, the legendary free tracer Sahara, who takes on the contract to capture Sim. When he is falsely accused of rape and murder, Sahara doggedly pursues Sim only to realize it's too late, that she's made a horrible mistake. Can Sahara find a way out of this treacherous web and do it without falling in love? And where is this one? It's here. Right, it's in the paranormal. I don't know why we have 2 sections, paranormal and urban. And later we have paranormal, urban, and steampunk. I don't know what's up with that. Demon Bound. Where is it? 4 stars. Kittledge takes readers back to the gritty underbelly of London as a debt comes due. This second book in the Black London series focuses on the lethal bargain Cromwell Jack Wyndham made in the face of death and how it may impact Pete. Kittredge's blunt description of the nature of the Black evokes a visceral response to the brutality and twisted nature. Because of a demonic bargain he made 13 years ago when he was dying, Jack Winter is a dead man walking. His time is almost up, and the demon is taunting Jack with his upcoming doom. Jack is not one to go down without a fight, especially now that he has something to fight for and live for, Pete Caldet. Interesting. Born of Fire. Alright, let's do some Harlequin. Shall we do some Harlequins? You won't find these on another video. I don't see anybody else out there doing Harlequins. Of course, I could be wrong. Let's see. Let's see. Sweet Deception. There's right there. 4.5 stars. Master storyteller Ales, it's A-L-E-R-S, has written a romantic classic that will satisfy readers for many years to come. The characters are introduced and developed so well you'll be drawn into the plot by highly emotional scenes and fast-paced story. Zaranda Mixon is happy to be marrying Miles Eaton and carrying his child, but when her father is accused of theft, only she can keep him from prison by wedding Thomas Cooper instead. 10 years later, Zindra and Miles are reunited at his sister's wedding. Zandra's husband and father are deceased, yet she still won't disclose her real reason for leaving Miles. Clandestine Cover-Up by Pamela Tracy. Let's see. Oh, I gotta tape this. The page came out. I've been through this so much. Clandestine Cover-Up. Down here. After winning a case against a client turned stalker turned attacker and seeing him sent to jail, lawyer Tamara Jacob plans on starting her own practice in Sherman, Nebraska. Soon trouble finds her there. It seems someone doesn't want her to have the old church she's buying for her office. Construction worker and handyman Vince Frenchie tries to protect Tamara and discover who's out to run her off. Potential romance there. Alright, holiday. Holiday with a vampire. Okay. It's not here. I don't know why I wrote it there. It's not one of the books. Breathless, if looks could kill. I don't know. We'll just do it. No, I lost it. Linda Winstead, Lisa Childs, and Bonnie Vac. This trio of holiday vampire stories is a delight with exciting characters and a novel storylines. In Sundown by Jones, a vampire bar owner, Abby Brown, teams up with police detective Leo Stryker to solve the murder of a girl tied to Abby's bar. Nothing Says Christmas Like a Vampire by Child to Sienna Briggs, privy to a secret that could get her killed. Being saved by vampire Julian Vassima, Julian's family wants Sienna dead once they realize she knows vampires exist. Vanek's unwrapped vampire Aidan Thorne is determined to use Dracon Roberts to find the morphs who escaped from him years earlier. Interesting. Bird. I don't know where this one is either. Oh, here was Adrian Bird. Tended to His Touch, 4.5 stars. And here it is. Tender to His Touch. Right there. 4.5 stars. Adrian Bird, scorching hot love scenes, love to hate them ex-spouses, and a loving couple make for a great story that must be read more than once. Attorney Lucius Gray is pressured by work, his ex-wife, and his desire to spend more time with his daughter. He reluctantly attends the 10-year-old college reunion at his alma mater, Harlington. After a divorce, Beverly Turner resists a social life. Then her best friend bullies her into riding along on a float as homecoming queen at the reunion. Aww. 89. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Sweet Deception is there too. They're all there. Master storyteller Allers has written a romantic classic that will satisfy readers for many years to come. The characters are introduced and developed so well you'll be drawn into their plight by highly emotional scenes and fast-paced story. Sandra Mixon is happy to be marrying Miles Eaton and carrying his child, but only when her father is accused of theft. Oh, I read this already. I have it listed twice. Bitter Naughty. Better naughty than nice. We'll make this our last one. Up here. Always put a hot guy on the cover. Always put a hot guy on the cover. The holidays bring out the worst in Santa's younger brother, Damon Claus, the family bad boy. He's off to stop Christmas spirit. In Lewis Thompson's lighthearted and sexy No Mistletoe, Riley is home for the holidays. In Showers' sexy Santa, arson investigator Allie is in charge of the toy drop. When Eddie, the sexiest man who's ever dumped her, appears, Damon uses him to distract her with secret Santa gifts from sex shops. In Nelson snug in his bed, Vivi Foster is in court for attacking Santa. When her judge turns out to be Damon, it rapidly becomes her worst holiday. So maybe you found a few books that you didn't know about. Maybe you found a few authors you didn't know about. I'm trying real hard here. Please check out Star Trek Friday, where we recap Star Trek Next Generation. Please check out If Then. If you like this author, maybe you like this author on Fridays. And Flashback Mondays and my daily book reviews. We are doing Victoria Thompson now, the Gaslight series. Hi. Learning sign language today. Learning slowly. So we'll see what happens. Father, mother, uncle, aunt, nephew, niece, daughter. So I hope you enjoy Romantic Time book reviews. I hope you will watch them all. We started with 2007. This is the last of 2009. We'll be going into 2010 next week. So please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. Thank you.